Hey guys, what an episode we have for you today. Arguably the biggest player in the A-League, Tolgay Arslan, joins us today from Melbourne City. We go through his incredible career winning Super League titles in Turkey, also playing against Cristiano, Ronaldo and Zlatan Ibrahimovic in the Serie A, his plans to stay in Melbourne, and also we're joined by his Dortmund coach at the under-19 level, Peter Hubala, who was one of the youngest head coaches ever to coach in Germany, who also worked with Jurgen Klopp. It's an absolute football feast for you. I hope you enjoy the episode. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of the Unlaced podcast. As I always say, if you are new here, thank you for turning up. And if you've come back again, I absolutely love you. We've had a massive year in 2023. And I tell you what, we're going to go for some bigger and better things this year. But what an episode we have for you today. For all the football fans out there, you guys know that football is in the DNA of the podcast. And we couldn't have got some bigger guests on today to talk about some of the game around Australia, but particularly in Europe with the individuals that we have. We have Melbourne City's Tolgay Arslan. We have the famed German head coach, one of the youngest head coaches to come out of Germany, Peter Hubala, and of course, Jason Vermeer, assistant coach of Beijing.
The last 2 seasons.
The last 2 seasons. There you go. I got that right. That was a hard intro with 3 people, but because we just met now as well. But thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. It's the first time in Australia for you?
No, I was for 10 years. I was in Sydney.
Oh, in Sydney.
But it was only by a friend, only drinking and chilling.
Okay.
So it was nothing to do with football. Or
and that's the best part. That's the best way to experience Australia.
Yeah, I'm now 3-4 days in Melbourne and
okay,
drinking and chilling.
Same again, yeah? Perfect. And Tolgay, for you, is first time you come to Australia through Melbourne City, or you've been here before?
Yeah, first time. First podcast.
I know, I feel very honoured.
So that's why I needed support. a big man next to me.
Yeah, well, for the listeners at home, we're going to go into it, but the relationship between you two stems from very young, huh? In Borussia Dortmund days. When
I was 17.
Yes.
17. So you were the coach of the under-19 team when Tolgay was playing, or?
Yeah, I was under-19 coach, and the first time I saw him was the under-17 German final. Borussia Dortmund against Bayern Munich.
Wow.
And Bayern Munich won this final, but and then I was checking the players, and then Tolgay come inside. I think in the 20 minutes for the end, he come in the game. And I like dribbler, I like 1-against-1 players, I like rebels, I like and everybody talk a little bit. Oh, Tolgay is a bit difficult guy.
Really?
And then I saw the match, and and there was a little bit discussion. Tolgay stay by Borussia Dortmund or not, or no? And then and I said to the youth coordinator from Borussia Dortmund, "Hey, I like this style. I like his skills." Because he did everything alone.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, but he was very good in this 20 minutes. Wow. But they lost the final.
Okay. So you're from Turkish background, but grew up in Germany, huh?
Yeah, I grew up in Germany, and I was lucky that he was my head coach then in the under-19, because my standing in the club was not like, because we had Götze as well.
Yeah.
He was the
star.
But everybody knew already with 12 that he gonna be like the professional. It was like the son of the club, and for me it was difficult. And even like the old coach who was before him, I knew it will be very hard. Heiko Ehrlich.
Yeah, Heiko.
Oh,
old professional player. And Heiko was, you have always so creative coaches and structure coaches. And Heiko was a good striker, but a working player. And working players, they like working coaches like working players. And, Tolgay is a guy who say his opinion, and you see it also say his opinion on the pitch. There's 1-against-1, and sure, if you play 1-against-1 a lot of time, you lose also.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes the ball. But I remember if I was coming, first he was also sitting on the bench, I think, the first 2-3 matches, and then he come more and more on number 10.
Wow, it's a crazy story. So how was your connection with Peter?
Well, Peter was the head coach of the second team of Red Bull Salzburg, and my kind of a football grandfather. He was the assistant of Peter, and I was injured, and he asked me like, maybe coaching is something nice for you. I said, all right. So I went first time to Red Bull Salzburg. I was 17 years old, and I was okay. I was with the under 13s, and then this grandfather, let's say, came back to Red Bull Salzburg to assist Peter. He was the head coach of Red Bull Salzburg second team. And I remember I was in the pitch watching the session, and he came up the pitch. He said, "Jason, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to watch the training, Peter." He said, "No. You need to train now to give a session." And I was 17 years old. And, players like Valentino Lazaro, I think Ante Čorić, Martin Hinteregger.
You've got him coaching.
Pamminger.
Yeah.
I was 17.
Yeah.
And I do not questions. I say direct. You come inside. I'm not discussion with 70-year-old boys.
And he's still like this, huh? Oh. Jason, go there. Jason, do this. And I'm now almost 30 years old.
I could tell when you come in. It's a relationship.
Yeah. And then, from that moment, I knew I want to go into coaching. Oh. And we always kept in contact when he was in Bayer Leverkusen. When I was in China, we kept in contact. So, always like this.
But
and then, now...
Here you met you didn't...
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy story. I got a friend of mine, he's here in Australia. And he said, you come to Australia, see everything. I said, okay, all right. And, I have the date, I have the ticket. And then 1 week before, he gave me a message. See you next week in Melbourne. I said, huh? I said, what do you mean? I said, I'm coming here to control you. Incredible. And I said to my friend, I said, what did you do? Wow. You invited Peter as well. So now, and we are sharing the room together, and it's like old times. It's like
my room is cleaning, his room not.
And now I ask for extra cleaning every day because of him.
Right, okay.
Incredible.
No, but was interesting. I was fired by NAC Breda in Holland for 3 months, and then Tolgay texted me. Because last year I had a big depression. I was really mental. I was finished. And then I was 2 weeks in his family in Udine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You come with in CDR when you were
Yeah. And I was really mental, finished. And then I was going to NAC Breda and they fired me in September. And then he was one of the first to say, hey, coach, come direct to Melbourne.
Wow.
But then I must look for my contract and this money story. And then I was the last 4 weeks always thinking, hey, go to Melbourne or go not to Melbourne. And then for 10 days, this guy, Boris, who do a camp from the Victoria region.
Talent identification program.
Is that through the federation?
Yes.
Okay.
The Victoria
Yes,
Federation.
yes.
Yep, okay.
And then I say, okay, you invited me, but from which country you are calling? Australia. I say, okay, and from which city? Melbourne.
No, so there's no connection with him that just happens like that?
No.
It's meant to be, huh?
And then for 2 days I said, Tolgay, I'm in Melbourne.
Oh, wow. Hey, so what's your first opinion of Melbourne? Because you played in a lot of countries, a lot of cities. Like, how do you think the life is here?
The life is, I said, man, the life here, you Australians, you are very lucky.
Yeah.
Because it's really, even when you have family, it's the best country to live, really, because you have everything. The people are nice, like you feel safe.
Yeah.
And especially like with all the bullshit around Europe, like you feel very good here. And so
you know the story of Fahid when he come to Melbourne Victory.
No.
He's playing in France, big player in France. Obviously, he comes to Melbourne, gets this offer, and he just have a young daughter at the time, so he's thinking family for the next move and stuff. And he didn't know Melbourne Victory even had a stadium, but his wife wants him to come. So he's like, okay. So we end up going. He's never left.
Yeah.
He's still here.
No, but
I tell you, it's
you know what he told me? He said like once you come here, like you
he's never left.
Back.
So I always tell him that I think it's such a great city, and I always say if you stay in the city with your family, because obviously his daughter grew up here, it tells you a lot. So. What for you was the main reason of why you wanted to come to Australia, the A-League?
I think my wife.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah, because I said like, okay, in my career I always decide, okay, like a Turkish background, I say, okay, I have to say like this, we go. But my wife is also strong.
Yeah.
And then, you know what happened? It was just crazy because I remember 10 years ago, I always said like, I will play once in Australia. I don't know, because it was like the country.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was talking about Australia is the best.
Yeah.
And then when I finished my contract, I had like, I could resign in Udine. I had offers from Italy. But I said, okay, I want to relax because it was tough, 3 years there. And then I have also family here. My uncle is here. And then I woke up. I still didn't decide. We had like the last game against Juventus home. And then I woke up. I said to my wife, I dreamed that we were in Melbourne. And she said, how funny is that? Let's call your uncle. You know? And then we made like Zoom. And then I was, hey, uncle, it was funny. I dreamed we were living in Melbourne.
What?
Yeah. And then he said, really? I said, yeah. And he said, Fahid, because Fahid knows my uncle as well. He asked me 2 weeks ago about you, but I said, no, you will not come. I said, you know what? Give me the number from Fahid.
See Fahid, he's the secret guy in Australia, man.
You know? And then I said, hey, Fahid, so I would like to come. Wow. I think. I wasn't sure. And then Fahid didn't know that. And I was very fast because he said, okay, you probably can choose where you want to go. I say, okay, what is the best? He's told me, man, like from the structure and the last years, City performed the best.
For sure.
I said, okay, I will join City. And it went so fast because after 2 days, I had the contract.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You know, and I said like, and we were on holiday, and then I had to do the medical check. And then I went to Rome because they have also, the City Group has also Palermo. I went to Rome, made the medical check. And I already signed before, but I didn't know that I signed, you know? But I didn't know that. You know what happened then? I was in the hotel and I was like, I told my family, like, okay, what do you think about Australia? My father and like all the friends, they say, are you crazy? Like, you can play in Europe. Like, what do you want in Australia? And then I got panicked at that night in the hotel. We were in Napoli. I said, like, what? Like, the deal is nearly done, you know? I said, what should I do? And then I said, okay, I spoke to my wife. I said, okay, I call Fahid. I said, Fahid, I think my wife, but she wants to come.
Yeah.
For sure. I said, my wife, she said now, she doesn't want to come. She will stay with the kids. I cannot live without my kids, you know?
Oh.
I said like, and then he said, listen, what? Just have a sleep and call me tomorrow in the morning, you know? I think he knew already. He said, if you want, my wife can call your wife, you know? Because I said like, no, my wife, she said she won't come. The kids, I cannot play. Like, how should I perform when I don't see my kids? And then he said, I think he understood what happened.
Wow.
And then he said, you know what? Just call me tomorrow in the morning. And then I woke up, I was, okay, I will do that. And then I opened the contract and I signed in the morning to have it done, you know.
What happened quick, huh? From
it was like 4 or 5 days.
Wow. That's incredible.
And they were really quick because I think for them was also a big chance. And it was like just crazy. And then I had 3 weeks to do everything, say goodbye, make the house in Italy ready. And it was just stressed.
Yeah, that's incredible. You two, Peter and Jason, have you seen the level of the A-League? Have you had a chance to watch games here?
In Germany, is give us channel who.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Australian
when
football.
When I come, they open the channel there.
Of course, yeah. It's Tolgay. It's him hosting with the microphone. Today I play Western.
Tolgay Arslan show.
Yeah.
And but I cannot say really in detail what is the quality.
Yeah.
Because I was asking Tolgay and then he must take.
Do you would have seen more of the level, no? Being in Asia?
On the 12th of December, it was Melbourne. Oh, you played against Zhejiang. Zhejiang, a Chinese club, 1-1.
Yeah, I scored.
Yeah.
The other day.
But it looked good on TV, let's say.
But this week?
Yeah.
We played
this week. Yeah. That was in Melbourne.
Yeah.
No, but I have to say the league is tough.
Yeah. Physical?
Man, we spoke with Fahid. We said like as physical, they have like Champions League. They're Champions League.
Yeah.
Because what I like in Australia, they're like you just see kids doing sport, swimming, tennis, like you know when our kids were in the school, like because my son just knows soccer. Football. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I call football, so it's fine.
No, but I had. They say we call it football.
Yeah.
And but I see all the kids are fit. So because they do a lot, they do really like we have also the first time in the preseason They said after training now is swimming. I say, yeah, but what kind of swimming? Yeah, 1 hour, like up and down.
Yeah. Australians are crazy, man. Fitness.
But
After 10 minutes, I was like, no, I'm done. I can. How should I survive 1 hour? Like, you know?
Oh my God.
If I was coming to Borussia Dortmund under 19, we go swimming, then they say you are totally crazy.
This sometimes is the problem though with maybe it's changing now in Australia, but back in it was very much about fitness, not so much with the ball.
Yeah.
So technically we'd always not be as good as I think we could be.
Yeah, we saw this in this week with this camp from this Victoria club. We give today, Jason and me, we have the oldest group, and we said, okay, everybody has a ball, you can do 5 minutes for yourself. And then 50% go on the ball, and the other guys, they are running, they do stretching, they do push-ups.
Yeah.
If I did this in Dortmund, everybody, nobody do a push-up.
Yeah.
I say, what is this?
Wow.
This really this fitness style. It's a little bit the American style.
Yeah,
also,
it's I don't know. I mean, naturally Australians are strong. That's why in Asia we perform well because we're such a stronger nation. You know.
If you see the facilities, man, we are training at La Torbe.
Oh, Latrobe. Yeah, that's
Latrobe.
where City used to be.
Oh, yeah, good facilities, man.
Yeah,
It's a European good level, yeah.
Yeah, but not every team in the A-League is like this, you
I
know.
understand.
He's very lucky. Maybe there's probably 50% of the A-League has very good facilities. 50% is still, you know, progressing, you know. So
I think like with that physical attitude what you have here, man, you can build a good group.
yeah,
Now when you take like coaches like
Correct.
he makes players better. But if you can get like this kind of coaches as well, even like from the youth, because man, I never saw like strong players like Lecky, for example.
But yeah, like he played 10 years Germany.
Yeah, but he's a beast.
Yeah.
He is incredible.
You know how quick he used to be? I don't know if he's still quick now, but my God, his speed was, so his touch maybe wasn't the best when he started, but his speed was so good.
Also,
And now I
like,
think Germany help him.
the young players, they are machines. We have players. I say like, what?
Yeah.
You know?
Ah, really?
Yeah, man, they are really like. But now when you can also put the other thing in, I think like here can grow like the big thing.
But you said to me that you most times play with 1-2 touch because they are not this good.
No, they are not like in the games also because they're too strong and too fast and they're like so I play smart.
Yeah.
I try to put the ball out. I don't like when they kick me and
Of course.
because the first friendly I was just like they didn't. I put the ball out and they still run into me and I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Frustrating, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
can imagine.
you need like that's why I think it's normal that people from overseas they struggle because it's a different type of football.
That's the thing. If you maybe you can be physically strong, but if he cannot play the ball even to me, it makes no sense to be physically strong. Right?
I know. I think the one thing it's hard to read with Australian football is because our development path has always had a lot of scrutiny around the best way to develop players, and we don't necessarily have some of the best coaches for the young players. Now it's all through the A-League teams. In the academy back in the day, we used to have an institute where they pick the best players in the country from 15 to 17 and you all live together with one coach.
Oh, okay.
Now it's different. But last 5 World Cups, Socceroos make the World Cup. So
You have to start like in Europe.
Interesting, you know?
Which age they start in Europe?
6,
7.
Yeah, see, this is why I was going to ask in Germany is football played on the street more? Like, what's the development process before you get to the academies or?
No, but now it's like where they start under 9. My son was playing in Udinese last year under 9.
Wow, yeah.
And they had like
this doesn't happen.
You have those,
No, we have, but like local teams, you know. You start there, and it could be a parent coaching you or something.
But if you
know?
play under 10 by Borussia Dortmund, you have every week you have tournaments.
Yes,
you have
we don't have this.
50, 60 matches. You have really children scouts.
Wow.
Who are looking, who is good, who is not good. And from the start, under 13, they look really to other cities.
Yeah.
Under 15, other countries.
Wow.
So
it's very creative because you just talked about street football. For example, at Ajax, on the 9, on the 10, they just play on a parking garage or parking lot. Yeah, with small goals. and then without the referee sometimes.
Wow.
Because in the street you also don't have a referee, and you don't have rules, and you have to make the teams by yourself.
Yeah.
And that's also there you see the leaders will you will start to see who's a leader. You will start to see who's technical good, and because football is you do because you like it, right? Yeah, and that's what they want to recreate.
Interesting. I have a question for you, Tolgay, from a player point of view, and then I'll ask Peter and Jason from a coaching point of view. But since you've come to City, there's been a change in coach, which obviously happens quick and all of a sudden changes things. As a player, how do you deal with that? Because it's obviously difficult to understand, but then also you have a new coach you have to impress. And
first of all, it's always like you feel also guilty.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, what could I do more? But football is a fast business. So the next coach was there, and you have to perform because it starts nearly by nil. So, and it's always hard. But I was playing in Hamburg, and we had every 3 months a new coach.
You almost you'd be experienced now, you know? It's not like you're the younger player. You probably know
so
how.
I saw it a lot. And it's as a player, because for you, just the head coach changed. You have I think for a player, it's much easier.
Yeah.
Much, much easier because you have still the same facility, the same people around. Just like the head coach changed. And I don't know how it is as a coach.
Yeah, for you, Peter, when you come into a new team, because you don't always have the privilege of time and you have to win the people over, then you have to get your style into the team. Yeah. How challenging is that?
Yeah, it's hard challenging, but I had many clubs, and with by some clubs you get your own assistance coaches. But I'm not in the first level of coaches, no. But I'm not by Klopp, Tuchel, and these guys who can say, okay, I take 5 assistance coaches, and then you come in a new culture. And I had also different countries. For example, in Eastern Europe, they say nothing in the assistance coaching. In Holland, the whole day they are talking. But it is good. I'm half Dutch, but
that's right.
And then you do a video analysis. So you look some matches, and then you look always as a coach. Okay, which 2-3 points I can start direct. Maybe by my last club in NAC Breda was not so many players in the box. So only 3 players. Okay, the first aim for me was 5 players in the box. Then this counter pressing, gegenpressing. Also if you lose the ball direct, 4, 5, 6 seconds that we take the ball. And with these 2 situations you start, then 1 week later comes the next situation. Right. And it is always, for me as a coach, the first 3-4 weeks is also easy because everybody wants to show his new cards. No, everybody wants to. Okay, new coach is here coming. After 4 or 5 weeks, then comes the problems. then comes the problems.
The real players show
the bench players and so. But the first 3-4 weeks, and that is so important that you win from the first 4 matches 2 or like this.
So one of the first things you look to implement is the press when you come in.
Yeah, it is my philosophy. Yeah. For me, it is very important because I say always, okay, if you transition defense, you lose the ball and then you win the ball. The other opponent is. In an organization, for me, is very important, and for me was also very important always that my team is the fittest team.
Okay.
So running, but also dribbling and passing, because the last 10 minutes you win many matches or not, or you lose many matches, and that was very important. And this gegenpressing is hard.
For you, was fitness when he come into Borussia? Was that something you could see that you have to get better at, or you did a lot of work on?
Definitely. Yeah, it's but he went also crazy.
Hey, we're going to get some more crazy stories out in this podcast for sure.
We have to stop running now, But he's he act like we started, he's just, he's straight. But at the end, if you win the games in the last minutes, so
that's why.
That's why. But man, when you have to do that,
it's not fun, huh? No, I wanted to speak about every country in Europe. They have sort of somewhat their own identity of football. Some are similar, some are different. But German football it seems to be, from a national team point of view, one of the most consistent nations at every tournament. always top talents, a lot of quality. Like what is it? How would you define the style of German football, if you could?
Yeah, you see, if in the years 70, 80, 90s, that was very man-orientation football. No? Also it was really with two defenders, with a libero, with a sweeper, and always winning mentality. Always, but not always the best football, not the best technical football. And then comes a period, 2006, with Klinsmann and Joachim Löw by the DFB, and then come really, and also many young coaches.
Yeah.
The best coaches from the youth go to the professionals, and these coaches had good ideas also from the Netherlands, ideas from Spain, ideas, and then 2014, I remember, if Germany was a world champion, we played also the best football.
Yeah.
It was really a little bit tiki-taka, a little bit gegenpressing.
Even 2010
it was completely
was amazing.
And it was many players also in this team who was playing together with Tolgay. And that was really the highest period of German football.
I love watching it. It seems like you have to be fit to play it too, though.
Yeah.
Not just technical.
Still also, you had like with Mesut, you had a guy from a street footballer.
Yeah.
You had like it was a good mix, and now it's I think now they struggle because like everybody is just clean, you know, like they're coming from the when I see France, for example, they still have like the guys from the street who gonna make the difference, but
Correct.
now like
too perfect the players.
it's just like it's like machines.
Yeah, correct.
So,
Not only football technical, but also as a behavior. Sometimes you need a player in your team who,
yeah.
not everybody like the nice son-in-law.
Do you have that in you? Are you, or not so much? You're more with the ball to receive.
No, I have it.
Yeah, because what you said before is like he start hitting people and stuff. I'm like, really? He's got the
No, you see,
that's my kind of number 10 then.
Yeah, but the problem, Tolgay was a rebel. Number 10. It was a 1-against-1 player, 1-against-2 player, 1-against-3 player.
Right.
And then for these players, it's very important that a coach is coming who appreciates this. You like this.
Yeah.
Yes, and you have now many coaches who are structure coaches, laptop coaches. And I understand a little bit the coaches because, like me, if you're a little bit crazy or if you are also a rebel coach, you lose also sometimes your job. And everybody want to work in football, also in youth football. It's very difficult to get the pro license now in Germany. And it's very difficult, everything. And he was really Mario Götze was also in the team. Mario Götze was more a player, so he plays the last moment pass. Also before opponent, he passed the ball. No, he was not a 1-against-1, but Tolgay was 1-against-1 all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see you dribble a lot. You know, for a 10, some 10s like to play and then find the final pass.
Yeah, and for us it was very good that he played 1-against-1, but then the tactic was that I had 2 number 6 players behind him.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
give the freedom.
Yeah, and that was in the gegenpressing players. And I say, okay, Tolgay, you can do what you want, but we need to, and then you have this German technical, German Turkish guys, and the typical Germans are really, they are warriors.
Yeah, like
they
robots,
fighters.
you know? Yeah, definitely. I have to do, because I do want to talk about Tolgay, your career, and obviously there's clubs and players that both you and Peter have overlapped with, which I want to speak about too. But I just want to quickly talk, because I know all the listeners will want to know, the Euros next year are going to be in Germany. Any feelings or thoughts on any nations you think will do well?
I think like the best is at the moment is by far is France. By far, because they're young. They have like incredible team, and they have like players who can decide the game in just one moment. Who maybe Dembele, he can play 80 minutes bad. But he just need one action to kill the game.
I still don't know what foot he is, you know.
Yeah, he's amazing. But and I don't see other nations have that kind of players like Mbappe, Coman, Dembele, and the midfield, both from Real, Camavinga, Chumani. So I don't see. Even the next World Cup. I think like the next 8 years, it's. I think they're gonna be really like on the top. So Spain is always good because like I don't know how they work, but they have always this kind of Xavi, Iniesta. players. I don't know like how they create them. But yeah, Germany struggles with because it was like they made the players by like computer and then machines, and now you're there.
Yeah,
still like amazing players, and they play on a high level. But I like for example, Wirtz from Leverkusen. But you can see he's on the like he is from the street, you know, like he and I love Musiala. He's also like, and I think maybe not now, but after they can be very, very good again.
Peter, you any thoughts for Euros? Any nations you like?
Okay,
Same.
I'm half German, half Dutch.
Yeah.
So I must say this.
So say both.
Yeah, you know, and for the self-marketing for German coaches is always very important. Really, that the German national team comes up and it's in their own country also. Yeah, and the Netherlands I like also. No? They have interesting players, but I'm agree with Tolgay that I think France is sure European champion. But the next now Germany under 17 is world champion. No, they won the final against France.
Did too, yeah.
So maybe the next generation. And there I saw many street footballers in this. And this is a big discussion now in Germany. Hey, the laptop coaches go a little bit more out. We need more the rough coaches. So we need more the
more Peters.
Yeah, more Peters. And it is Germany, Netherlands are always watching.
Any thoughts?
The last time Holland won the Euros was 1988, and the World Cup we never won. It's nice to say Holland, but that's difficult. But I agree what we all say, that France, I think, is doing a very good job.
England.
Yeah, England, yeah. But because France have so many creative players and players who can make a difference. And then you see that these teams are countries performing the best. You know, if you see the Holland team now, for example, like Xabi Simons, he's coming up. Xabi Simons because it's a special player. And Noah Lang, maybe his behavior is difficult, but it's also a special player. And Frenkie de Jong, for example, great players, but still they are like the great son-in-law. They are not the players who can maybe sometimes like this, or can do something like really special and put a player like free in front of goal. And in France, they have so many players like that, I think.
Yeah.
France is a big contender to...
I saw Henri speak the other day about how they were saying why so many footballers come out of France at the level. He said, because everyone plays on the street, which is interesting. It's very simple. He just said that everyone in Paris, they grow up playing on the street every day, all day, every day.
By Europe, you just have football.
Yeah, so that's for us, it's different here. Everyone plays so many sports.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different.
But I remember in Borussia Dortmund, if you play in the under 19 training, we had not so good facility in this time. 2008, really? No, it was not so the best facility. And then in the winter, we can do nothing because the greenkeeper come always, no football, really. It was like,
what?
But we play really 50, 60 times. We play so indoor, 4 against 4.
Yeah,
wow.
But full. And sometimes the indoor was closed because some amateur clubs was also in it. And we said, we go minus 10 degrees, crazy Hubala. We go outside. But we was playing 2 hours, full power.
Wow.
And you saw it in the match then, that we 1 against 1, 1 against 2, 4 against 4. Game pressing, shooting direct. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
If you do this now as a German youth coach, you can come in jail.
I think Tolgay, you played this Holland tournament before as well, on the artificial pitch inside. And these tournaments in the academy is great.
I love that, man.
Great, man.
Because you just dribble there.
He loves the dribble. Hey guys, just a quick pause in this episode to give thanks to our sponsors supporting the show. As you've seen, Vibe Culture has been flying around our Instagram pages. I'm looking to do a bit more of a cleaner approach to working out and getting healthier in 2024. And this has been a great secret start to my day, or a secret to the productive start to a day, I should say. A very, very healthy option where you just put a scoop of this powder into your water bottle. It tastes great. I've got the tropical punch here. But what I love about it, it's very healthy for you. It's only got 2 grams of sugar and 54 calories per serving. And it's a great alternative for all those coffee drinkers and energy drinkers out there that need to keep going back and have those peaks and troughs throughout the day. This I've been starting with every day before gym. It's perfect after those late night movie marathons or hangovers. So I'm very, very happy about it. All you have to do is get into the bio below, get to the Vibe Culture website because they are going to look after you, the Unlaced listener, where if you put in the discount code Unlaced, you'll get up to 15% off your first purchase. How good is that? Also, you guys would have seen my partnership with Dabble throughout the year, the gambling agency. I've got a link in the bio for you guys that want to get around it. It is an absolutely beautiful platform. Why I love it, it is very, very similar to Instagram, where you can follow various athletes and various former professionals who know a lot more about the sport than potentially you or I do, and you can copy their bets. So you get an advantage on the games that you would like to bet on. I've also been doing a weekly stream with Dabble this year between 7 and 8 p.m. on a Wednesday called Jake's Take, where we talk about sport, have a really big laugh, get some great guests on, and also put some bets on throughout the stream. So it's an absolutely fun place to be around. If you want to join it, Dabble link in the bio below. Let's get back into the episode. Who was in this Dortmund team? Who are the players that you played with? You had some great players.
I think we never I don't remember other team who had so many nearly the whole team was playing professional after.
Wow.
And we had like Götze.
Yeah. Tony Rüdiger on the bench.
What? Really? For Real Madrid now.
We had Ginczek. He played in the first division, first league.
And Marco Stiepermann.
He
was by Norwich City.
Yeah.
Wow. Mark Hornschuh was by St. Pauli.
We had the guys who didn't do was like second division or third division.
So it was a top team.
Yeah, we was the only under 19 team ever was in the German champion final, but we lose against Thomas Tuchel Mainz 2-1. And in the German Cup final, and we lose against Christian Streich Freiburg in the penalties, and that was a little bit pity.
Tough.
Because we was the best team, really. But then we lost 2 times in the final, and that was also a little bit the character of the team. But this team was amazing, and this team was also amazing because this was really players from the region. So we had not a player from outside or from another country. It was really from the Ruhrgebiet, maybe from the Westfalen region, and it was you say in football you must be 11 friends on the pitch, but this was really we was totally close.
Grew up together in a way.
Yeah, and I remember that as a coach you must always talk with the parents. I didn't do this because I'm not talking with parents.
I think I can.
And I say to the players, listen, we do 6 times the week we do training session. You must come to the club.
Yeah.
I'm not organized, and they organize themselves. It was unbelievable, and it was a big spirit in this team.
Can you tell as a coach with the players you work with? I mean, the names you mentioned, Rüdiger, Götze, obviously Tolgay as well. Can you tell at that age that these players are going to make it, or is it's hard to say? Because
Tony Rüdiger, no. That I must really say. Tony Rüdiger was in the duel very hard, but he was not so good on the ball. He was really a gangster in the duels. By Tolgay, you saw fantastic skills, but by Mario Götze, you saw he can read the spaces. By Daniel Ginczek, he was very cold for the goal. But then comes the next step, the mental thing. And youth football and professional football is different sports. It is totally because Tolgay said to me now Melbourne, he feel a little bit also this youth once again.
Yeah.
And professional football, and I was many years youth coach and many years professional coach. It is really tough.
Yeah.
Professional world is really, really tough.
It is. It's a brutal game at times, isn't it?
Yeah, I was last year also mental really finished because many fire stories and you have this pressure, and also these guys and the under 19 they give them also their own pressure, and maybe the parents give the pressure, and now you have agents they give the pressure. So this pressure life is so interesting, and that was for me interesting. Can Tolgay do this in a big stadium? And I know Tolgay also very long, and if he sit on the bench, he's then nice to the coach. or not, because he's an emotional guy, and that's.
Oh, I'm angry, man.
Yeah, you can't. What do they say? You wear your heart on your sleeve. You know?
No, I'm like, I understand now because I'm older, but man, I couldn't understand because there's. I said I can dribble, he cannot dribble. It's like, it was hard. But I said to Peter when I was here, it's because the football in overseas also like, as he said, like the pressure and I mean like politics in the club because they have to earn money and there's so much around football. And I said to him, here I felt like it's clean. So I don't. My mind is not. My head is not around. I just can play football. I feel like
Free.
I feel like I play with friends. I said like I feel like in the team we had because it's also such a nice group we have, and just focus on football. It's just like you don't have too many voices around, and Europe is hard because also, man, it's big money there. So everybody wants to play. There's no friendship. There is like from Europe, I don't have like I was always very good with everybody, but it's not that I have a very very close friend with in football.
You think it's possible in football to have that though? Because sometimes at the top level, it doesn't feel like you can, no?
No, in Europe, not because
the business is so brutal.
Yeah, it's because you have to play. Because when you play and you play well, you get money and you get big money. And like when you have the guys on the same position, man, you don't talk to them.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
It's like hello, and then let's meet on the pitch, you know?
Yeah.
And
Same with coaches, eh?
Yeah, same thing, huh? Well, of course, coaches, I think it's maybe even harder because you're the first one to go, you know, when it's not going well. Like you said before, sometimes for the player, it doesn't change. The coach, it's the first one.
Yeah, and you know, as a player, you have 8 midfield players, you have 6 strikers, you have, but you have 1 head coach.
Yeah.
So, and you have many head coaches. You come also in the pro license now. Many young head coaches are coming, and yeah, and I see it now. I'm now 3 months without the club. Yeah, and it is not a nice life because I must bring out my energy. I have a big talent as a coach. I have a big knowledge, but you sit at home. And then you're waiting, and then you think always, what can I do now? Proactive. Okay, I can do an interview, I can talk with the agent. But you cannot do really. You must really wait, and it is hard.
Yeah, very hard. Tolgay, the first time you arrived was probably Hamburg, huh? When you start playing first team football. Can you just tell me how this happened as well? Because you're obviously at Dortmund, so I assume it's a big move, huh?
Yeah, you know, I was. Because I knew the club was pushing Mario Götze, and I was like, okay, and I was the best player in the league. I had an incredible year, and so I said like, okay, I have to do something else.
Right.
So and my time was also different because there weren't like many young players. Now you have like even 16, 17-year-old guys who are gonna train with us. At my time was like, I remember when I was with Klopp in the preseason, was me and Götze and just one more player, but you had just like experienced players, and then you had maybe three young players.
I would have thought no. So Klopp was selective with the players. Or is that in Germany in general?
No, at my time it was like this. So now you have like
everyone can train sometimes.
You have 10 young players, but our time was difficult. And then I signed in the background. I signed a deal in Hamburg.
Wow.
With my dad.
It's a big club, huh?
Yeah, it was a big club at that time, and my dad said like he wants me because also that time was they let you train a month with the first team and then you go in the second team. And he said like you have to put in a contract that he's always with the first team. And then I signed in Hamburg, and then I was still training with the first team in Dortmund, but they thought I gonna sign there, you know.
Oh, but they didn't know.
No, they didn't know.
Wow.
And then they find out.
This guy.
And then they find out.
I know.
I told him, you know.
Ah.
And then they find out. And then
not happy, huh?
They tried to smash me, but I was lucky he was there, you know.
Oh, you protect him?
He wrote a contract in Hamburg. And then was drama.
Imagine,
I can remember, Tolgay, that we played against Duisburg.
Man, this game, I swear, I said even to my wife, this moment, this memory never went from my head.
Really? What happened in this game?
We played against Duisburg. I remember February
it came out.
2009. Yeah. And then Dortmund supporters are hard, and we had, I think, 100 supporters by this match. And they come really, he say Judas to him. Yeah.
And you're still like a kid almost, you know.
And Tolgay plays this match totally shit.
I was.
really totally shit with this match.
Totally shit.
And you know, and that is for a coach, and that is also crazy mentality. I protect him, you know, because it was my boy. And then this is my character then, that everybody push him off, everybody hit him.
Smashed me. Man.
Yes, but I protect him, but it was also hard for me.
Of course.
Because 1 year later, I must also leave the club because I'm not so marionette. But okay.
Well, but I remember, I don't know if you remember after the game, because like it was the game after it came out, you know, and then like I could see even the parents, like everybody was like, even when I come in, everybody is like, you know, I did something, I don't know, I killed someone, you know, like, there's the guy, you know.
Wow.
And I went on, and I was still a kid, and then, man, like, I didn't know even like what I'm doing, you know. I was just like mentally, I was not in the game. And then after the game, because I was really bad, and then we went in, but he put me in 90 minutes, you know. And I was like, I hope maybe
why didn't you take him off in that game? What was the...
Okay, that is then also, we everybody say we coaches, we must also, with the politics, but you are also mighty as a coach. In this moment, the team is playing, and I decide who is changing or is not changing. And I saw the Dortmund supporters, and fuck you, Tolgay, and this and this.
Okay.
And I say, I protect him.
Wow.
And
what a coach.
he's
Oh
playing.
yeah, man, he was. And then
That's
after the
very
game,
special.
even like the players between, like they were talking, and then he said, listen, what you can say to everybody, like, I would never put Tolgay out. And then it was like nobody spoke anymore, you know. It was like the thing was done, and then I felt safe again, so I could perform, you know. So no, I was really like not he's here, but I was really lucky that he was the coach, and as a coach, I also told him like, because his head is just full of football, and like the tactics, and I never saw from someone like the skills as a coach he has. And I was also lucky also my career, because in football you need also luck. And that time he was my coach, and because from that under 19 to the first team, that is the step and my time you didn't have a lot of players, like maybe I don't know 5% who could make the deal to the first team. Not like now, because now like everybody is,
they want everyone to play some,
because it's money also. If a young kid play 10 games, he's 17, doesn't matter how he played, but you have teams who are going to pay millions. So, and our time was like, my time when I was young, it wasn't like that.
Inner motivation is different over there. When you earn enough money, then the motivation is much less than you need to work to achieve something, to have a good life, good future for your family. Then the hungry is much more. And several countries, you have that much less than other countries, of course.
Absolutely.
I think.
I have to talk about some of the people that you guys have worked with, because in Australia, we look at Klopp, we look at Heung-min Son, we look at these players and we're blown away by them. But to actually hear from people who have worked with both those individuals, I'll start with Sonny, because Sonny's so special, and obviously Ange is coaching him now, Australian coach. But for you playing with him in Hamburg, how was that?
I had in Leverkusen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring to you.
I was with Sonny. We were like, because we were like the young players who played.
Was that
also.
his first move to Europe, Hamburg?
Yeah.
Sonny? It was, okay.
So, and he was there with his family, and I was very close to Sonny, and we were like, I still speak to him, and we were like, in Hamburg, we were like twins. We were always together. His father, he was like military.
I've heard about, you know what's amazing to me with Sonny, for all his football ability, is how polite he is. In football, you don't get that much, you know. Usually people are more fiery, and he's nice to everyone by the look.
I think it's the culture as well.
Korea,
He was the best, nicest guy, and we were out like, we were together like every time, and But his father, when he had day offs, he called the clubs. He called the club and said, "Can you open the facility because I want to train with Sonny." Because his father was also a soccer player, a football player.
Okay.
He played also many games for the national team, and also after the games in Germany, the games are at 3:30, and I said, "Sonny, come, let's eat something." He said, "No, I have to go to gym with my dad."
Wow.
After the games, you know.
How old was
but
he at that time?
And he's professional
20,
player.
21,
He's
yeah.
professional
And he
player.
was
Is
like, already he was
Oh
he was
my
big.
God.
But at the end, when you see like where he came, like I think his father has a big impact on that.
Wow. And for you, Peter, with him in Leverkusen.
I was a short time with him in Leverkusen, and he was professional, and he did many individual training. Also after the training session, he was shooting, finishing, and I remember I was always laughing with him because in Leverkusen, in the area is Düsseldorf, and Düsseldorf many Asian companies,
Okay.
and we had 250 South Korean boys and girls all the way there. And you stay as a coach, and Tolgay is Tolgay for me, and Mario Götze is Mario for me, and Sonny is Sonny for me. But then you saw it is a superstar.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. The girls, they was Sonny and we go out from the pitch, and he must 1 hour every day photos, and
he seems like the guy who would do that as well.
Yeah, and then I was thinking, as a coach, and I was older than the players. Nice life, because millionaire and big money and this. Also a shit life sometimes.
Tough, yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking, it is also pressure and hard, and always you must perform. And I was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big part of why I started this, the psychology of everything, because it's tough, and it's probably a good change into Turkey, because I told you before we come on, Harry Kewell, when he went to Galatasaray, is the first time Australians we watched the Super League. It was crazy, the fans that Galatasaray had, the banners they used to make for him covering like half the stand and all this sort of stuff. But for you, I've heard you speak about football in Turkey, and you had some incredible success and played with some great players, which we'll talk about. But the life there is, if you play well or if you play bad, you can't go in public, huh?
The pressure there in Turkey is even like bigger, and like in Turkey I never understood why, like, because in Turkey I was for them I was a Turkish player.
Okay.
So and the credit the Turkish player has is always less. If you're a foreigner, like in the beginning you're the hero. So, and it's always hard for Turkish player to play many years in a big club, because as soon the club is struggling, you're the first one because you're Turkish, you know. And but I came on a good time to Beşiktaş, and we were successful. So
you didn't lose a home game for like 3 seasons or something.
Three seasons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because who was in your Beşiktaş team when you won 2 titles, huh?
Was the biggest talent. Like, I don't know how he can play in Beşiktaş. Was like Quaresma.
Oh yeah.
Because he was like what he was doing, like I said, like. But he was also kind of crazy.
So Peter, your type of player.
We are a small group, but this group is nice.
He would love it.
Yeah.
He did like
proper rebel. Yeah.
Yeah, but we had like Pepe, Quaresma was the Talisca.
Yes.
Mario was 1 year with us.
Demba, Pepe, I think as well.
Pepe, Abubakar. And was like Ryan Babel.
Yeah, Ryan Babel. Yeah.
Adriano from Barca. Oh, the team was. We were really like. But for us was like, because Turkey was, as a player you had power, and then the coach said like, hey, you have to run, coach. Come on.
Yeah, this is not good for you. You don't like this coach.
Then the coach was looking to the fitness coach, and he said, "Leave the boys alone, man. Like, don't. They need a free head for tomorrow, you know."
Yeah, of course.
So, and then you were like, but if you lose or if you win and you're successful, you win titles, man, you're like the big hero. But if you lose,
yeah. Did you experience both? Because you won championships back to back.
Beşiktaş, I had incredible times. Then I moved to Fenerbahçe.
Okay.
Because I had a fight with the president, and
Yeah.
I was also
Rebel.
I wonder where he learns this from.
you know, I had a big fight there, and then the president from Fenerbahce, he was like, the family is a strong family,
Right.
and I knew that he can put me out of contract because
They can do
I had-
that there.
I had 3 more years with Besiktas, and it never happened that they sell one player to each other.
Wow.
Just like when the contract end, and then they moved, and then they called me and he said, I can put you out, and just to like
Fuck with you. Yeah. as they say.
just to make like the president more angry, I said like, okay, I'm gonna move there, you know, because after 2 weeks they called me back. They suspend me for 2 weeks. They called me back, and I said, no, I will go. Like, I will go hard, you know. And that my time in Fenerbahce, it was like when I came there, first time in the history, they were in the relegation, and this was
Crazy, huh?
we ended up at fifth or sixth.
Okay.
But and then like after I don't know 20 years, more than 20 years, we lost the derby at home against Gala. And 1 week at home,
Oh, no.
nobody could see you outside.
Yeah. Is it actually like that though? You feel like you can't leave your house in a sense, or do people just say that?
No, you can't, because like everybody is like, what are you doing here? And go home, and like they are not hitting you, but you are not free.
Yeah. Okay.
So because like, and then you have also everywhere paparazzi, so you cannot go in a restaurant when you lose and eat, like, you know. It was Istanbul was that's why I said like after 5.5 years I want to go to quiet place, because the pressure there was, man, it was just
full on.
even like for a Turkish player. I had like many players who before a derby, so we had like, okay, tomorrow the game, but then they get sick overnight because like the stress, they like
Wow.
you know, it was just too big.
That's incredible. Do you know the history between Besiktas and Liverpool? Have you the biggest loss in Besiktas history? Was that 8-0? 8-0? I think Liverpool beat them. Yeah. So the game, I think, of you scoring, and I wanted to know that if this is the game that your life changes after this, because it's such a big game.
I was new I went in the winter and I had a broken arm. You know, because rebel.
How?
You know,
Not so much details.
Ask questions later.
You know, I was just stressed that time, and then I hit against the wall, and then I broke my arm. But
The wall didn't hit back, right?
no,
It was easy. You win. They win.
Yeah, the wall won. But then I had to go I signed already. So, and then I was there in winter, and the season there is no preseason. The season, so I was there, and they told me, "What is with your arm?" I had like my whole arm was like closed, you know. I say, okay, I have to go through, you know. I have to. I don't know what, but I trained like with one arm, like the other arm. I don't want them to cancel the contract, you know.
Yeah.
And then it was like 2-3 weeks, and then it was getting better. And that game against Liverpool, it was like the revenge game for the fans, because it was that game after the big loss. I don't know after how many years they match each other again.
So it was because it was when Fernando Torres and stuff were at Liverpool.
Like
so it was well before that.
time they match again, and for the
okay.
fans it was like, okay, we need our revenge. And then I still had my broken arm, but it was better. I could like at least move it, you know. And then I came on and I scored the goal. And then because we lost in Anfield, we lost 1-0. And then home I scored 1-0. And then I was confident to say like, okay, I take the last penalty as well. We went in the penalties. And then I scored even the last penalty. And then like from that moment, really like everybody knew
who Arslan was, huh? Yeah. Did that change your life in any way, that game?
Yeah, for me, because that gave me also big credit. So, and then I could play more free, you know? So I could perform So and then over the years, so they knew already what kind of player I was, and I had a big name there.
Wow, it's special, man.
Yeah.
It's special. We're going to go into Serie A because at some point, because I know that's where you said was probably the best football, the toughest league you played in before.
Yeah.
But Peter, for you, because speaking to Tolgay and my research on you is you're a very detailed and focused kind of guy, but you were also the youngest head coach in Germany at one point. I think you were 34.
Yes.
Why coaching so young? Like, what was?
I went to his club there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Alemannia Aachen, second Bundesliga.
Wow.
1 year.
Yeah. I was coached very young because I was a bad football player. So finish. Everybody comes with injury. I had not injury. I was not good player. And then I remember I was 17, 18 years old. And then I was playing by a small club. And then a guy come inside, the youth coordinator who want to train the under 7. And me and my best friend say, hey, we train this. And then it's like by a football player, you feel as a football coach you have talent to do presentations. You know, my father was a pastor, also he was in the church, so we can from my genetics I can talk. Right. and my mother come from Rotterdam. She's very direct.
Okay.
So and then I was ambitious to do always the next step. And then I remember I was with 23, I was assistant coach in the third Bundesliga by Preußen Münster. It's a good traditional club in Germany. And then I come in the youth. And then first I was under 19 coach by Wolfsburg. And then I come to Dortmund. And Dortmund changed also my life. Also I must say, because this team, you know, if you win a lot, then everybody is not only focused on the players, also on the coach.
Of course.
And then was our luck. I remember we lost the final against Mainz, against Thomas Tuchel. But Thomas Tuchel, 3 weeks later, he came professional head coach by Mainz. And that was a big sensation. And
how old was he then?
I think young? 37, like this. But he was youth coach. Wow. And he was not famous, and he was also not a good player. But Thomas Tuchel came then first head coach in Mainz, and every youth coach was hoping that he has success. Yeah. Because normal was only ex-professional players come to the Bundesliga clubs. And then Thomas' first season was incredibly good. And then I was the second one who go to Alemannia Aachen in the second Bundesliga. And I was 34 years old. So and now the coach is like Julian Nagelsmann.
Tolgay's age now almost, you know?
Yeah.
And coach.
And then I was 34 and then I called Tolgay because Tolgay was not so playing in Hamburg. And I said to him, hey, you must play. So, and that is interesting in our relationship. And for me, is it good and bad because I know him very good, but I know if I take Tolgay, we have a special relationship and the other players are not stupid. You know, it is not always good if you know a player very good because it is a little bit my son, you know? Yeah. And I remember he come to the first training session to Alemannia Aachen. And, you know, we had also old players, 32 years old, 31. And he kick 4 against 4 rebel and foul and dribbling. And Eric Meyer was the manager, was also a great player by Liverpool playing. So, what is this for a player? and I said, oh shit. But I was always thinking, okay, you say not to Tolgay, do easy.
Yeah.
I said to him what he say now to me, do a little bit more clever, but I let him go. So and then we had a fantastic season with very young players. Wow. And Tolgay was playing on number 10, and we had a young midfield and
so nice this season.
And a great club.
Was that an important move for you to get back into playing every week?
Yeah, it was like my first professional year. Yeah. And after when I went back to Hamburg, of course they watched, they looked also in a different way to me. So and then after that, I got a big injury, but then I recover, and then they had me on the team. Yeah. You know, first I was a young kid, and then there was a player, who can also play. And then from that moment, I start to play.
Wow.
And it was very interesting, one story, because we lost 2009 against Thomas Tuchel Mainz under 19. And then Tolgay come to Alemannia Aachen. And 1 year later, come Thomas Tuchel with Mainz in the cup to us.
Yeah.
And they was number 1 in the Bundesliga, and we was number 10 in the second Bundesliga. And we was talking before, and it was a big revenge. And then we won this match 2-1. It was incredible match. It was a gegenpressing match, pressing match. Thomas Tuchel is also a rebel, and he did the door open for the young coaches. This I must say.
Yeah.
So this is really the work of Thomas. But under 19 match we lost, and 1 year later.
Yeah, it's football.
That is football.
Yeah,
That,
wow, it comes around to us
You
sometimes.
guys meet in Melbourne again, like accidentally. This is incredible.
Yeah, this is, and now you're in a random podcast. It's even more. The world's crazy, huh?
Yeah. I did many podcasts because if you have not always a job, you must do marketing.
Wow.
But Tolgay did the first podcast.
Hey, this we have everyone
it
in
was
Australia
my
watches this,
first.
so we'll get some. I'm sure we'll get some clubs interested. Just with the coaching for you, like for a player, the mentor is the coach, but for a coach, when you're a young coach as well, who were the coaches that you took something from? That
I'm German Dutch, and I was always watching what the Dutch football is doing.
Yeah.
So, and for me was Louis van Gaal.
okay,
Was interesting, because we met also the last years 2-3 times together, because he had also a university background. I have also a university background. In 1995, he played with a very young Ajax team. He won the Champions League. So, and that was for me amazing. And in this time, I was 20 years old. And this was a coach, and also his behavior, his charisma, his personality, I liked a lot.
wow, yeah, he's a special coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's still coach now, Van Gaal, or is he stopped?
No, he has cancer. And now he coached last year the Dutch national team.
That's right. He was with the national team.
And
last
now he's a little bit advisor by Ajax.
Okay, understood. I want to talk Serie A because you said one of the toughest league, if not the one you played in. First, how did the move come to go to Italy?
I was like, because in Fenerbahce we didn't. If you're not champion, like they changed the team.
Right.
So and we ended up my second year, I don't know, third or second, and they said, okay, we have to change the team, and so I was as a Turkish player, I was the one with the high salary, and then they said, okay, like president, you have to go, and I said like, yeah, but so I have still two more years. So how we do that? And then I was really, because this 6 years there, 5.5 years, mentally it was like, I said like, okay, I want to step back now. So I made a deal with Fenerbahce, and then I was like, okay, maybe I should step back and just go near my hometown, and then like Udinese called me. And then a few teams from the La Liga, and I said like, I said, okay, Udine is near to Germany. It's like a solid club in the Serie A. And after the big teams, it's the team. And I was quick. I said, I want this. They said, okay. And then I said, okay, I come.
How was your time there? Because you played some great games there, no?
I came there. And the training, Italy is massive.
Really?
Yeah, really. I didn't. I should check it before. I was there, and like the training was running, was fitness, was like crazy. And Udinese is also very special. So everybody knew that like Udinese is like hard working.
Okay.
And I say to my agent, how you could bring me here,
You know me.
At least you should like tell me that like they're crazy.
Yeah.
Or I'm not the guy who likes that.
Yeah.
And then and they let me straight play.
What?
So and then the games I was good, because the Serie A is really tough. It's always small spaces, and like I'm good in it. But like the first 3 months, I just trained twice a week and played, because if I would train all, I couldn't play because I would get injuries. And then time by time, I had incredible 3 years. And then my last 6 months, they made like a big pressure to sign. But this is also the business in football. If you don't sign, then you step back.
Yep.
And then I say, okay, maybe I will sign. Then I played again from the beginning. Then they realized I won't sign, then I was out again. It was funny, but like I played a lot there. And it was such a nice club.
Wow.
It was, the league was...
Yeah, who was some of the... I want to go into... I was Peter as well, some of the best players you coached, but the toughest players you played against in your career? Or maybe
I don't know who is the
some of
toughest, but
best
the
players.
most one who impressed me a lot was Zlatan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was like, I played also against Cristiano there, against nearly everybody. But Zlatan was different than everybody, because he was kind of coach on the pitch. He was like...
Shouting.
He was shouting everybody was just quiet. Like when he was shouting, like you could see the players, like the head goes down and, oh, fuck, Zlatan said something to me,
Wow.
It was like that. He was just like, he was a monster, a beast, on the pitch. And still like what he was special on the ball, but like his attitude on the pitch, it was just like massive. Wow. It was like how he could take, he made like the team, like, you had the coach and you had him on the pitch. Like you felt like, okay, there are two coaches.
That's special for a coach when you have that in a player, like a second, that can mirror you on the pitch.
You don't have this anymore. He was a guy, he was like, he said also what he was thinking, now difficult to have people like him.
Yeah, he's one of the few people that gets away. He can say anything and no problem. Yeah.
Well, you have to perform as well.
Wow,
if he do that, even in Holland, he had like big problems, but then he scored some crazy goals.
Like Master Rebel.
Yeah.
Master Rebel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But now it's also, you have many gray mouses, also as a players, but also as a coaches. In the coach development, also in Germany and Europe. Yeah, you can say nothing anymore because then you go out from the system. But if you the orientation to the best coaches are crazy.
Yeah,
Guardiola is crazy, Tuchel is crazy, Klopp is crazy, Mourinho is crazy. It's very interesting. But we in the development, we look for a little bit gray Moses coaches, and that is and gray Moses coaches develop gray Moses players.
There you go.
But I said like this kind of coaches, like first for them it's even harder because they have to perform every week. Once they are not performing, these are the people who, Balotelli, for example, he was like when he's not performing and then he had like a bad year straight, he was out of the system.
Yeah.
These coaches, for them were hard because they had to perform over years and years and years. And then they had like the big name that like they can do, like everybody gonna accept them. But it's, man, you have to perform year after year after year to get like that credit.
You might be the first person on the podcast we've had that's played against Cristiano.
Yeah,
I think, you have to tell us what that was like because arguably he's in the top 2 or 3 players ever.
Yeah, he was. What he had, he was not like that big, what I saw always in the TV, in the television. But, man, he was. When he was on the ball, you always has, oh shit, like he gonna score,
Yeah.
And he always hits the target normally. So he was like, even when he had the bad shot, he hit the target, and like he was in Juve and he was still on a top level. And he was, as a footballer, he was just amazing. But as a person, that's why I said like Zlatan impressed me a lot.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. I never thought, when you speak about Zlatan, you think ability, but you're speaking about the the whole person on the field, intimidating in a way, the way he was. Yeah.
He was just like, and Cristiano was like, man, it was Messi is the best in the world.
Yeah.
But Zlatan was, as an opponent, you feel also like, he can even smash you, you know.
And he'll tell you.
So you felt like that. You felt bad, just bad. But he was a nice. But the league was, and you could see also when Cristiano left, like many big players left as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I think this has been a fun podcast, Peter. I feel with your career, we have to get you in Australia.
Yes, because I was yesterday in Melbourne.
Yeah.
In the nightlife, I must say.
It's good.
Without joking, I'm coach,
Yeah.
and the problem is that sometimes I had tough years behind me, I must say. But coaching is also a little bit like drugs. It is, you have the adrenaline in the stadium. You have you developed a team. You never know you win or you lose.
Yeah.
And okay, you get money for this, but you must control this. And now I can control this a little bit better. I'm not a top controller, and I know I have a good eyes for talents. I can do players better. And for me, is it really a fantastic moment to stay on the pitch.
Yeah,
I'm with my heart and my soul and with my passion and my intelligence. I'm field coach, and I cannot do this in this moment. So, and this is tough.
I said to him because I felt also here is like pure nature football, because because the Australians, they're down to earth, they're like humble, they're like
good people,
good people. Like I was like, because after 3 months I was looking to my wife and we said like, wait, it was the best decision.
Yeah.
Like maybe we left so much money, but it was the best decision. So, and that's why I said to him, hey, like here, man, they gonna love you, because like you don't have like he struggles also like with the voices around like.
You get the freedom here.
Yeah, but the director comes, the president comes, then this guy, this agent, and then you have like, okay, but here, like me as a player, I'm player.
Yeah.
Like I have fantastic stuff around. Everybody's doing his job. And here I said to him as well, like as a coach, I have the feeling like you can be coach. You can make coach.
Yeah.
And I hope...
when I hear the story of Tolgay, I see very similar things about Peter, what I felt, because he's like an inspirator. When I was 17 and I came on the pitch with him for the first time, it's like he made me wanted to coach. And when I hear Tolgay about his story, he made him wanted to play. And when we're now in Australia and we see the players, it's like they need some inspiration. And when we had the first session, for example, with the players, it's like the players a little bit scared first time, and maybe because of the inspiration. The voice, but you have to inspire players and people, and that's what I think he's very good at.
Yeah.
And especially also as an assistant coach or a player, it's like, it's nice to work together. It's nice to inspire.
You've wrote books on football as well. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, I did.
I think how many?
Many things.
I feel like you sleep with football, huh? Like, do you find it hard?
Sometimes also with a woman, this is also a difficult story, I must say. But sometimes,
that's good.
Yeah, but if I was starting as a football coach, and then you notice every session.
Yeah.
And I was also in the university. I studied sports and psychology, and then my master thesis, my master work was Dutch development in football. Also it was always football, but I was diving in the sport and not to do career. That was once again Thomas Tuchel did the door open. We never was thinking professional coach, but on one moment the chance was coming, and but I like it.
Yeah.
So, and maybe what Tolgay said, this under 19 Dortmund feeling, if I come back, now is coming back to him, I hope it's coming also back to me. And it is Australia, top, and if it's in other country, also top. But on the other side, I must learn also this political things. That is not my, diplomat is I think not my best job. but I must learn this.
Yeah, you have to play the game.
Yes, you play the game,
annoying.
and it is totally different since.
Here is not like this. You have to play games because here is like everything is nature, you know?
Beautiful. Well, Tolgay, Peter, Jason, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For all the listeners at home, that was like a football education. Surely you guys have loved that. We got to speak to some of got to understand some of the roots of German football at the highest level, which was inspirational and incredible. So appreciate you guys. We'll keep going and we'll see you guys next week.